Shalom to the elect. I want to start by giving all the praises, honor, and glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. And what I said was all the praises, honor, and glory belongs to Yahweh, who is the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh is his true name. Bahashem means in the name of Yahweh Shai, which Yahweh Shai is the true name of the Messiah. Yahweh Shai is the one the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Bahashem, once again, meaning in the name, and Rachah Kodash, meaning Holy Spirit. Rachah meaning spirit, and Kodash meaning holy. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, ever well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. All right, and this is a quick lesson. All right, just giving, pretty much just, breaking down, what the chariots of the Lord are. All right, which people, nowadays call them, or people call them UFOs. Okay. Which is short for unidentified flying object or objects, all right? And also UAPs, all right, which stands for unidentified aerial phenomenon, all right? And they call them unidentified because they don't know what they are, but Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has revealed to his servants what they are, okay? He's revealed to us what they are, man, all right? So I'm going to, just hit some quick precepts, for anyone who doesn't understand, okay, and is trying to learn. So this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, starting at verse 15, all right, because the Bible tells what they are, all right. It says, "Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel," which is talking about a chariot of the Lord, all right. It says, "Behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with its four faces," and upon the earth meaning it landed. Verse 16, "The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl." If we look up beryl, all right, it's a green shape. It's like a green color. Okay? So these chariots that Ezekiel saw, all right, were of a greenish color. It says, "And they four had one likeness," all right, meaning all four of them, had the same appearance. They looked the same, they were shaped the same. Okay? It was four of them here, right? And here it says, "And their appearance and their work was as there were a wheel in the middle of a wheel." Okay? When you look at a so-called UFO, all right, it's like the one people most commonly see is, the one where it looks like a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Because you look at it, it's like a circle in the middle of a bigger circle around it. That looks like a wheel in the middle of a wheel. But the Bible said that, showing you that the so-called UFOs are actually in the Bible. And it's the various precepts in the scriptures to get it. All right, I'm going to just get some of them today. All right, not all of them. Okay, and the next one. All right, because these so-called UFOs, all right, they were back during the time of the Exodus. When the Lord led us Israelites out of Egypt by Moses. All right, they were there helping us then. Okay, now. This is the book of Exodus, right? Chapter 13 and verse 21. "And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way," right? In a pillar of a cloud, all right? So-called UFO, man, all right? Back then, you would look up in the sky, like you look up in the sky, you would have the term UFO, so you would think like that's like a cloud, all right? Because sometimes the scriptures in the Bible refer to so-called UFOs as clouds, and I'm gonna get this. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 104, and verse 3, and it says, "Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot." You see, "Who walketh upon the wings of the wind." Yeah, and what else could this be? So who walketh upon the wings of the wind? What else could do that? All right. So a so-called UFO that walks upon the wings of the wind. Why? Because they fly. Okay. Unidentified flying object. Right. So back in Exodus 13 and 21, "And Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night." So when it said by night in a pillar of fire, and fire talking about represents the lights of the chariot, okay? And it said in the pillar, which that pillar of fire is, the tractor beam on the chariot, man. Okay. So, pretty much, the Lord used that to guide us back then, in the nighttime. All right. To guide us Israelites in the nighttime, through the wilderness and everything. Okay. But you see, on the picture here, there's another so-called UFO sighting, and this is why the reason why brothers say so-called, because they're not actually UFOs. They are the chariots of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. And you see that they have lights on them. All right. Ezekiel had seen it too. I'm gonna get that verse real quick. Ezekiel 1:4, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire. And all right, see, a chariot, the cloud. We went there who maketh the clouds his chariot, and a fire, talking about the lights on the chariot, and folding itself in the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber out of the midst of the fire. So the lights of the chariot were so bright it appeared as fire. Okay. Now, the next one I want to get right is the book of Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 5 and verse 1. Starting in verse 1, it says, Then I turned and lift up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. So the prophet Zechariah, all right, so before I say that, right, because it says a flying roll. Now, a roll, when you look up the Hebrew, it says a roll, book, writing. All right, so back in the days, back in the ancient day, that was what? A scroll. And when you look at a scroll, rolled together, it looks something like this image that you would see here. Okay? So a flying roll says, and look and behold a flying roll. And this isn't actually talking about a flying roll, a flying, scroll or anything. It's talking about a so-called UFO. All right? A book can't fly. A scroll can't fly. Okay? So the prophet Zechariah, he looked up and he saw a so-called UFO flying. And this was, in the shape like of a cigar, like a cigar-shaped chariot, all right, or in other words, cigar-shaped UFO, all right. Verse 2, and he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. You see, so these were the size of the chariot, right, the measurements, right. Verse 3, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Okay. And then what? Because when Yahweh Shai returns, the so-called UFOs, the chariots of the Lord, all right, they're gonna fill the skies. People see sightings of them here and there, but no, when Yahweh Shai makes that glorious second return, all right, these so-called UFOs, they're gonna fill the skies. It says, For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side, according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it, And it's, the main ones who steal and swear falsely is Esau, the so-called white man. And it expounds in verse 4, right? Zechariah 5 and 4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Now, the house is talking about America, right? Because, let me read it again. Zechariah 5 and 4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter the house of the thief. Let me start off by first, mentioning who the thief is, right? Because the thief is talking about Esau, the so-called white man. All right. What did they do? They stole America from the Gadites, and the Reubenites, so-called Native Americans, and so-called Seminole Indians. All right. They stole the Southern Kingdom, so-called blacks. All right. West Indians and Haitians, they stole us from Africa and brought us over to the western part of the world. So so the so-called white man stole us. All right. And guess what? There's the book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Okay. So the so-called white man is a thief. Okay. And it says the thief. So talking about the so-called white man, not talking, it's talking about the so-called white man, right? And it said, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. And what is the house? The house is where you live at. And these Edomites, they, primarily live in America. Okay? It says, and this is the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So when Yahweh returns with the chariots, all right, they're going to be in America and they're going to destroy it with the laser beams that come out of it. Okay, they're gonna, the missiles are going to be destroying America, but the chariots are also going to shoot fire on this place. They're going to be, so those chariots, man, they're going to bring destruction as well. Okay, here's another picture. It kind of shows you this. All right, the chariots, man, they can shoot laser beams. Okay, out of them, man. All right, you think that this so-called white man, gets all these movie ideas just out of nowhere? Nah, man, Esau ain't that great. Okay, but another thing they do is going to bring deliverance to the Lord's elect. All right, now I want to get this. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, and starting at verse 11. It says, and it came to pass as they went on and talked, that behold, they prepared a chariot of fire. Once again, this is a chariot, or so-called, a so-called UFO, right? It says of fire representing light on a chariot, right? It says on horses of fire, horses representing power. It says imparted them both asunder, meaning what? Because right here is Elijah and Elisha talking, right? They were together here. It said the chariot parted them both asunder. So what does that mean? All right. It says, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. All right. Meaning the chariot that had beamed up Elijah, not Elisha. Okay. It had parted them asunder, had separated them. You see? So, because these chariots, they can beam you up as well. All right. And it says by a whirlwind, and the whirlwind pulls you up in the air. And the chariot, so-called UFO, pulls you up in the air. So this whirlwind was a tractor beam from the chariot that beamed up Elijah. And back then they had a word, tractor beam. Okay? Verse 12, and Elisha saw it and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof, talking about the angels. Because the angels, they ride in those so-called UFOs, man. All right? I know green aliens, all right, but the angels of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai are within those vehicles. Okay? It says, and he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two pieces. Okay? And another instance, all right, where chariots were shown is 2 Kings chapter 6, starting in verse 11. It says, therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing. And he called his servants and said unto them, will ye not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet that is in Israel telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. And he sent, go and spy him, and he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore he sent the horses and chariots and a great host, meaning a great army. And they came by night and compassed the city about. So the king of Syria has sent an army, right? Verse 15. And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early and gone forth, behold, an army compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? So the servant, all right, he saw that there were armies around, right? However, this Elisha, all right, has said this, right? Verse 16, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. All right, and Elisha was referring to the angels because Elisha knew that they were already protected by the angels, okay? And this is they that be with us, some of the angels, which are what? In those chariots, once again. It says, are more than they that be with them, that army that came out, right? Verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahweh, I pray thee, open his eyes, meaning Elisha's servant's eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of Elisha. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses, and chariots of fire round about Elisha. You see? So the chariots, the so-called UFOs, they were in the sky. You know, those chariots that were in the sky were revealed by the Lord unto Elisha's servants. You see? The chariots, man, they be around, and brothers be seeing them even at camp, you know? But once again, all right, those chariots, okay, they're gonna Yahweh Shai is coming back with them. He's gonna beam up his elect into those. And the elect are gonna be changed. I can get into that right now. 2 more precepts. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and starting in verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. You could go to that word cloud again. All right, we're talking about a so-called UFO. So this is talking. So Yahweh Shai was referring to when he returns, right? Verse 31. And he Yahweh Shai shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of heaven to the other. You see, talking about when Yahweh Shai comes back and beams up the elect into the chariot from all over the world. Okay, because the elect are going to get beamed up from all over the world. Okay, and they're going to be in them chariots, man. They're going to be in that chariot. I believe, like the elder Kazak said, it might just be one big chariot. You see? You know, so because the elect ain't going to get destroyed in this nuclear destruction, man. All right? Actually, before I get that, you know, because the nuclear destruction, in that day Yahweh Shai comes back, those nuclear missiles are going to fly. Okay? And the Lord ain't going to have his elect get destroyed in that. Revelation 11, starting in verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. They got that word cloud again. You should already know what that is. All right, a chariot of the Lord. All right, aka a UFO, so-called UFO. It says, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Verse 13. And the same hour, see, the same hour. You know, so as soon as they went up, the chariot, as soon as they got beamed up into the chariot, you know, chariots, the nuclear missiles came down. So in the same hour was there a great earthquake. Because the nuclear missiles are going to cause the earth to shake, as it tells you in Isaiah 24:20. And the 10th part of the city fell. The city talking about America, 10th part, because America is divided up into 10 FEMA regions when you look that up online. All right. So 10 should say 10 parts, meaning all of America going to get destroyed. And in the earthquake and the nuclear destruction were slain of men 7,000. Meaning everybody standing in America everybody in America when the nuclear missiles touch down are going to get destroyed. All right. It says, and the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the God of heaven. Okay. Now, let me give one more precept. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 26 and verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, which those chambers are the chariots. Okay. This is the common deliverance. It says, and shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. Now, indignation is the nuclear fire that's coming, man. See, the elect gonna be in the chariots. You know, this is another depiction. Okay, how that day might look. Okay, the elect are gonna watch the nuclear destruction. They're gonna see it happen, but they're gonna be in a chariot, though. You see, so yeah, man, this is coming. All right, this is coming, man. So, you know, just want to do a quick lesson on the chariots real quick. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, ever well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shalom to the elect.